depending on your location. I hope everyone is doing fine. Can everyone hear me? Just reach out. Can everyone hear me? Those on YouTube and those watching through Zoom. Okay, so I think I disabled the chat, so you can just type if you can hear me. Okay. So we'll just wait for people to join, for more people to join. I think we'll wait till like 5:05. Because today's class is just 1 hour, so we need to speed up things. So I'll just wait till like 5:05 and then we can start. Okay, so I believe I'll start now. Hello everyone, welcome to today's office hours. And as usual, we'll be talking about Python and Django. So this week we are covering model views and templates. So apparently we spent all the time just talking about models. So if you recall, yesterday we were working on this project and we were trying to add some models. In fact, I had like an error that I promised to resolve in today's class, in today's session. So I would be showing you the error now and showing how to resolve that. But before I do, I believe I sent this link to the Slack channel earlier. So if you took time to read out this thing, so for those of you who have been having this issue, this operational whatever error, if you've read through this link, you most likely have an idea on why you are having that error. But I'll talk a little bit about it today as I could. So I am just going to walk through the program. So this is a very little number. So just to be sure, can everyone hear me, please? Hello. Oh, so for those on YouTube, can you hear me? Can you also hear me? Those on Zoom can hear me. Okay. So we'll just continue. So by the way, if you are on YouTube and you actually want to join the Zoom link, you can check your calendar to join the Zoom link. I think I can paste it in the live channel. Let's give it a second. I'm trying to get the link so that everyone can join. Okay. I just sent the link to the YouTube live chat, so you should probably see it. Okay, so I'll just start there. Python Ninja PY run server. So I'll walk you through why that error is occurring. So I have the error on my code too. So I'm just going to show. So once the server runs, you would see the error when I go to the admin site. Uh, let's begin this time. Just much time. Okay. So
Hello, good evening.
Uh, okay, so you should be able to see my screen now, and the server has loaded up. So I will go to the So this works, but we most likely get the operational error when I click on it. And that was what we were getting yesterday exactly. So no such table to reply underscore report. So let's go to our code again and let's look at why we are actually having the error. So apparently it is not seeing this table here, this reporter table. So if I go to I want to open a new tab, activate the virtual environment. Can everyone still hear me? Someone says my line is breaking, or probably my voice. Can everyone hear me now? Is it clear? Is it better? Oh, sorry. Okay. What's the name of the app? Yeah, Fireflies. Okay. So I would so what I want to do is I want to show my migrations. I want to run a command to show migrations. So you can see that I have all these tables here. So this signifies the tables we have in our model or in our project rather. So we have the admin, all table, content type session. Then we have the Zuri Fly app with this. You can see that out of all of them, this is the only one without an X or a tick or something like that, which shows that this migration has not been made yet. But we can't make a migration because we will keep having that error. Now, the reason why having that is because we made changes to our data to our models while having data. So we did not run our migration. So the best way to fix it would be to actually remove this model itself. So if I remove this model, let's take this one out. If I remove this model, now I most likely will get the operational error, but this time it will be different. It probably won't be the same importer. Let's see. Okay, let's go to our admin.py and take out these guys. Let's take out these guys. I'll just comment it out. Then so we have this. Now, if we reload so we don't have that error again. Now, if I try to come here, so the best thing is at this point where I deleted, if you remember, when I added models, I deleted or I commented out previous models in the models.py file. So I commented out the habitat and the firefly models, and I think the amount of okay. So yeah. So I commented out these guys prior to adding these models. So the best thing to do is once you comment out this model, you have to run your migration because there were existing data in the model in your database when you commented it out. So you have to delete the data there, then run new migrations. Now I will make a similar example to show you in a clearer sense why you are having that error. But for now, let me run my migration to avoid the error. So if you are having that error, you should read through your code and see the table that is actually giving you that error. Then you can either remove it or add like the previous, undo your code. So, but I would rewrite a new code with different models and show you in a better sense why that error keeps occurring. So by the manager can make migrations. So what I want to do is I want to take out this code. Oh, you know what? No, let's leave this. Let's leave this here. Let's show migrations to know what's left. So now I want to delete the previous migration because I already did the make migrations command. So it has already added the migrations initially because I did, while having these guys yesterday, I ran the make migrations command to try to enforce the migrations, but now I do not want to have that. So I want to actually delete like the previous migrations. I can't remember the command to do that. So we'll just come online and let's see. But most likely we will need to delete our migrations folder. So I said it. I have to delete my migrations folder. So you come here and you come to your app store. Yeah, come to your app store. So to make it clean, actually, you have to delete the migrations folder. So delete the migrations folder. Then what else? Normally, I would delete the bike card, but it really doesn't matter if I delete it or not. So now, the migrations. So now, if you notice, we don't have jury fly here, the application. So that works for us. Pattern manage .py. Let's see. Let's migrate first. Let's make sure we have all existing migration committed to the database. So now we can run our make migrations with the name of the app, which is Fly. Now, it is optional to add the name of the application. That is because when you run the make migrations command without the name of the application, it runs the make migrations for all applications in your project. You can have, I don't think I've mentioned this before, but you can have multiple applications in your project. So we can have as many applications as we want. Now, each of the applications obviously will have their own models of PY file, their respective models of PY file. So let's say you have a model inside each of those applications, and you want to run the make migrations command for just one application. You need to specify the name of the application. So that's why I'm just doing this. And it shows the okay. Please, if you have any question, you can put it in the comment section, and you can also or raise up your hand for me to call you. So Python. Okay, so let's just migrate. And after doing that, everything should work. Have we migrated? No. Okay. So migrate. Have we migrated? No. Okay. Applying the migration to reply. Okay, yeah, it has migrated. So we'll come to the when we reload, we should see. Oh, I think we removed it from the admin document file. So reloading this should give us all our models. Do we have any error? No. Can I import name? Report. Okay, no, that's not the error. Okay, I think it's still reloading. Can I import name reporter from? Oh, I thought we had the habitat and the. So for reporter article, habitats, firefly animal. So this should be. So I'm just going to, because what I want to do isn't really all this, so I really just want to be through this. So we are getting an error that says the value of this display refers to description, which is not callable. Do we have a description for those for animal, I guess? Oh, there is nothing here. So there should be no list display. Okay, so everything works now. So have animals and fireflies. Now, what I want to do is I want to create a simple block like database model, like block and post and comment, such that if Firefly can make a post, and a post can have a comment. Basically, that's just it. So I will specify the relationship that exists between those three models, and I would show you I would purposely make myself have that operational error, so that hopefully if you're having that same issue, you would know how to fix it now. So I'll show you the reason for the error and fix it. So that is like the aim. Okay, so I'll come to my models of py and have that. I'll have class post model is the model. Then the message should be a models.text field. And if it's that way, you want to have head, let's call arts. Yes, then we want to have modified equals model the data field auto now. So you notice I use auto now add and auto now equals true. So I would like you to Google what the difference between those two are, or rather, let me just show you the link to auto now Django. So it's under Django field, model field reference. So you should see it somewhere here under dates field. Then you should see this with the auto now and auto now add. So you can read up on it, the difference between those two. Okay, so class comments. So what I'll just do is I'll just copy out everything here. So normally I'm supposed to use something we call an abstract class or an abstract base class for this. And that is because, let me make this comment. And now that is because I have, if you look at it, both of them are similar. They have similar fields. So most something like this, in this case, we can have something like an abstract base class so that both models will be able to inherit from the abstract base class. The abstract base class in itself is not a class. It's not a model that is saved in our database. It just gets used or just gets inherited by other models in our models.py. But just to reduce the complexity for now, I would not do that, just to reduce the complexity. So people who probably were not following up to this point will not get even more lost. So probably towards the end, I might introduce that if I see how the response goes, if it is a positive response based on how well everyone understands. So hope at this point I am not doing anything weird or strange to anybody. Please, if I am, call my attention to it. So I just want to quickly write this code and okay, so there's a raised hand. Please, can you type your comments in the chat section? I will go through it because I have to actually finish this because we have just 1 hour. So, but I will go through all the comments and answer them and answer all the questions there. So, I was about adding it to the okay. So for just to make this very fast. I like splitting my screen. So I split my, I think I have put some wrong places. So I like having the one I'm actually writing on the left-hand side. Okay, so I hope everyone can see my screen like this. I just split it so that everyone can follow through and to be fast for me. Okay, so okay. So instead of animal, because this does not really have anything in the, I want to make this habitats. Then before that, like I said, every post would have a, every comment will have a post or will be related to the post, and every post will be related to the Firefly. The Firefly ring key, then Firefly. On equals okay. So I believe this works. And now I have to add them. Let's take out this and add post from comments. So as usual, I'll be copying this, copy, then paste. So this should be posts. List underscore display equals okay. So let's do the same for comments. So copy and paste. Okay, so so the question was, or someone asked the question, and I think I should look into the question first. So the question was, what is the advantage of using an abstract class for inheritance rather than the way we are doing it now? Now, one advantage of using, because the whole idea of using a class or OOPs rather is to ensure that we follow the dry principle. So there's a principle called dry, that is don't repeat yourself. So it allows for inheritance and using code so that we don't have redundant code. We don't have the same code everywhere in our code base. So the very idea of using an abstract class or an abstract based class for that is so that everyone, so that we do not have redundant code. So we don't repeat ourselves. So instead of having all this, imagine we have 10 models that can make use of message created and modified. Are we going to start copying and pasting all those things 10 times? Definitely not. It will not be fun and very good looking anytime we are writing the code or want to review the code or something like that. So it's best for us to have like an abstract based class where all those other models can inherit from the class, or we have what we call a model mixing. But don't worry, we'll get there, especially mixins. We'll get to mixins. That's just to answer the question. Okay, so okay, so I think this is comments, not post. Okay, so I think we are done with this. So it looks like we have an error that says a model is already registered. One model. Post is already registered. Okay, yeah. It's supposed to be comment, not post. So I believe I have fixed that. So let me rerun the server. Now, we have not made our migrations yet, take note. So I'm just going to do that here. So Python manage.py, make migrations. Manage. Okay. So okay, no such tables reply underscore Wi-Fi. So it's saying we do not have this table. Which I'm pretty sure we do. So this will be because now both our table and our migration is messed up from all the changes we've made. Now, if you look at this link I sent, it says the person had similar error. Now, one of the suggestions was that most likely the problem is that you didn't do a make migration when deleting the model. You look at it, you see the Django content table, model tables. If you remember when we were making our migrations, we had to see content type, this table. So what the table does is the table keeps track of our models and our tables. So Django still thinks that the table exists. Now, you can see what it says. I don't know of an easy way to fix it. All I can think of doing would be to restore your code with the model and add the table back into the database. So it's not like there's a command for you to actually fix it. So what you need to do is, most times when you have that error, if you cannot restore your table back to the way it was initially, back to the way it was, the best thing to do would be to delete the test database. Obviously, you can't do this if you're working in a production level database like YAM production, and you can't do this. So that's why extra care needs to be taken before touching your data related logic, because those are the logic that you're supposed to have in place before you can push to production. So that's why good database design is actually very important for an application or for a project. So what we are just going to do now is come here. We are going to delete you, move to recycle bin, delete permanently. Okay, so it's not allowing us to delete because this is open or it is in use. What I'll do is I will quit server and see if I can delete that again. So we have deleted it. So in case you have a similar error, you have to quit your server because your server is making use of the database. Windows will not allow you to delete a file that is in use. So, or your operating system. I don't think it is just Windows. So, we have to delete the migrations too, then delete our file cache. Just okay. So now let's run new version is server new, and then let's come here and Python manage the py migrate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new super user because we deleted our database. So it does not have all the user we created and all the data we had. So if I come back to the admin panel, I'll have to re-log in. So if I click here, I should not have that error again. Oh, wow, I'm having the error. This is not supposed to happen. Let's see. No such table file. Let's see. Okay, we didn't run migrations. Oh, did we run the make migration? Okay. Okay, exactly. Okay, so let's see if it works. So voila, we fixed it. So yeah, that is it. So I'm going to show you part 2 of that error because I didn't show you the origin. I just fixed the error. Not like I fixed the error, just did the database. But now what I want to do is I want to add a firefly here. I want to add about 3 fireflies, which should be. Does firefly have a relation? Oh, damn. We forgot to. Okay. Okay. Let's just call it Stormbreaker. Then we'll call this red size rate. Let's just save it. I don't have time to add everything. Oh, damn. Django admin panel would not let us be great right now. So okay, we have this, and let's just have another one called Firestorm. Sorry, I hope everyone is following. Then the diet should be grass. So if you have any question, Firefly with the user already exists. Now, it's even good we are having this error because or this validation error rather. Now this shows like a reference to a question yesterday that I wanted to answer, the difference between the one-to-one, the many-to-many, and the foreign key. Now, because this is a one-to-one reference with a user model, which is the user we have in our database, it is not allowing us use that same user because a Firefly already has that user, which is this Stormbreaker. So it already has the user. So a one-to-one model will only allow one-to-one field will only allow us to use or reference that is not being referenced by a model object already. So we can no longer create a Firefly using this user here. So in order for us to do that, we have to create user, but we don't have that much time. So I'll just go on to create a post and say this user is the one. So the message is, I am a Firefly, the strongest one alive. Then we save the post. We are saying post objects because we are not returning a string object here. So define a string method and you return the message. You don't serve the message rather. So that this is then comments. Now, this comment is not made by anybody. It is just a simple comment. So, who is the strongest? So, for those of you just joining or just watching from this point, I am trying to get an error, the operational error. That is what I'm trying to do, and I will fix it again the second time. So we have okay. So now, basically, the relationship we want to have is that a comment must belong to a post. Yeah, and a post should have a Firefly making it, which is there's a relationship between the post and the comment, and there's a relationship between Firefly and the post, and the relationship between the post and the comments. But now I specifically did not specify that there is a relationship between a post and a comment here. So what happens when I try to modify this and say post, let's do this, post equals models of foreign key. So now I am specifying the relationship that a comment and a post have a relationship. A post or a comment must belong to a post or something like that. So now I'll tell you that I am going to get the operational error, no such column, blah, blah, blah. Exactly. So we get no such column to reply, comment, or post ID. Now that is because at this point of saving this, we don't have a relation like the comments here, rather, they don't have that table ready in their they don't have that column rather in the table. So in the table, in the comments table, we only have message created at and modified. We only have message created at and modified. We don't have the posts there already. So in order for us to do that, we need to obviously make our migrations. Now, there will be an issue making the migration because look at it. We have message created at and modified. And now we are trying to add a post column so that every new comment must belong to a particular post. Now, the question comes up, what happens to the previous comments in the database already? So would that column just be empty? Because Django will add the column to every object in that table. So the two comments we have already in our table must have this post column. But because while we were creating it, we didn't specify this. And we didn't specify a default value. So we would get an error. So if I try to make migrations now, let's say Python, the migration will work, but it will tell us to provide a default value for the previous objects we have already. So let's try to do that. Let's see the error that will come up. Exactly. So it is impossible to add a non-nullable field post to comments without specifying a default. This is because the database needs something to populate existing rows. Please select a fix. Either one, you provide a one-off default now, will be set on all existing rows with a null value for this column. Or two, quit and manually define a default value in the models of PY. So it's telling us to either quit and set a default value here, or we should provide a default value now and forget about it. So every other object that are created without setting the post would use the default value that we set here. Normally, we would exit and try to make a fix. So you might think, okay, fine, what if I come here and delete these two items here? I'm coming. So let's comment this out so that we'll be able to get rid of that error. So we should be able to see two comments now. So I believe everyone is following at this point because I think I'm trying to explain as best as I can. Why are we having an error? There's not supposed to be an error. Okay, still reloading here. Still reloading. So when it finishes reloading. Okay, I think that's finished reloading. So let's go back and Uh, you're supposed to reload. Okay. Okay, yeah. So we can see these two comments now because we commented out um, the post the post attributes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete and do this. So yes, I'm sure. And after deleting it, let's comment this out and let's try making or running new migrations. Now, before I run this migration, I will tell you what will happen. We will still get the same error that tells us to provide the one-off default, and I will tell you why. So let's see if that is what we'll get. Exactly, we are getting that. And now that is because even though we don't have any item still in the database or in that table, Django already assumes that we have created some prior data without having this post field and this post attribute to it. And that is because if we are creating a new data now and we check the ID of the data, the ID will not start from 1, rather the ID will start from 3. And that's because we have already created 2 data and we deleted them. So Django knows that this is not the first time we are creating the data. And most probably the data we created, because the migration has not yet kicked in, the data we created already was without this post attribute. So now it's telling us, okay, I do not want the situation where even though now every comment you are going to be creating would have this post field, but I don't want the situation where there is an off chance that a comment does not have a post field, because you've done that before. You have 2 comments in the database before that didn't have this field. So just to be on the safe side, let us provide a default value for it, even though we have deleted them here. So we would listen to Django, obviously, and just provide a default. So what I want to do is, even though we have deleted the data, we know that every time we are going to be creating one from the instance, we would be needing to, or we will obviously be setting the post for it. So I will just give this, I will just make this 1. I just select an option 1, then select the default. Now let's just use 1 as the default. So the default one points to the foreign key of post 1, just as the default. So now we can run our migration. We can see the migration has been added. Now to enforce it using the migrate command. So I'm coming in, that is fully load. So hopefully, I believe everyone that is having this error will have an idea as to why they are having that error. Python manage.py migrate. So you should look at your code and see. So I specifically dedicated today to making sure we know how to resolve this error, because apparently lots of people have been having this error. So now if we come here, we should no longer see that error. Yes, and we have migrated. So now if you try to add comments, you would see that we would get this post and say, okay, what post are you, or this comment is for which post exactly? So now, as you can see, we have fixed this. Okay, yeah, I was even looking at it. Why are we just having why are we just having, because this display is supposed to display the created arts and the modified. So why are we having that? Let me see. It's not even reading these fields. I just noticed now. I'll look into this. I don't think I have. My time is off already. I didn't even notice since modified. I'll look into this. Why is it having date time field? Auto now add is true. Date field. Let's make this date field. Supposed to be date time field now. Let's make migration again. Now, even with this, we might still have the same error because now we've altered a field. Yes, it was deleted, I know. Exactly. I said that we might still have an error because we just altered an important field. Supposed to give us same error. I said it. We just altered the field now. So I'll look into this. I don't think so one last thing, just to fulfill all the promises I made all through this week. I mentioned that we would, because I think I've gotten like 12 those questions now. So I mentioned that we would so I've changed it for those wondering, it works now. So I mentioned that I would show you how to set the .env for your project using the virtual env. And so I'm just going to create exit all servers and exit the virtual environment. Exit. So what I'll do is I'll come to my settings.py file. Okay. So first off, I don't think I remember the configuration for the Django environment. So I think we even need to install it because I don't think we have it in the environment. Let's check. For Python manage the py. Oh no, sorry, I want to check. How am I so used to the Python manage the py command? So it freeze. So I think I've mentioned this, but there's also a pip list command that shows you the packages you have alongside their versions. So using pip list will also show you the packages on their version. So just to show you the pip list in a formatted way. So if I do this to show, yes. And you see. So do we have Django environment? Yes, we have Django environment. So no, I don't need the full documentation. Just come to PyPy. Then come to the settings.py imports. Import environment. Also import OS. Then do this. Just copy. What I'm doing, I'm just copying out the configuration here. Then now, this is actually the important part. Now, if you notice earlier when I was working with the .env, I put it as the root folder. But if you're working with Django and environment, yes, that's the name of the package. You will put your env the same folder with your settings.py. So I come here and I add the .env. So in the .env, same way we did with the, I'm just going to copy out this env. And paste, then come to copy out debug, which is now we are just so we are just making this, we are just calling the environment variables from the .env. So I'll do same thing here. env, then secret key. So I believe this should work. Let's exit and try it out. Okay, so Python manage.py run server. Oh no, I have to sit into students fire price. Then Python. So this should work except set the secret key environment variable. Except village people actually want it to not work. So let's see. The .env secret key is there. So why is it not working? Oh. I'm missing something. Let me see. I'm trying to say here secret underscore key. Secret underscore key. My spelling it secret underscore key. This isn't working. Okay, let's do this. I want to check something. Okay, it's not working. I don't know. I've not used this Django environment package before, so I don't know why it's still not working. We'll have to just go through the documentation. Well, I think this is 610, which is way past our time. So there should be an introduction or quick starts. There is always a quick start for every file in project root directory. Oh, project root directory. In project root directory, so it should be here. So let's move this. It should be here. So that's the thing with each package. They have their own way of setting. So the project root directory is here. So it should work now. So let's exit. So it should work. It's still not working. This is the project directory, but I'm not mistaken. The same directory we managed up the Y. Why is it not working? Oh, wait, give me a second. Give me a second. So let's take this out and okay, so I think I will just have to end the class and see why it's not working. Because but I hope that everyone now understands the operational error thing and how they can fix it, hopefully. So so I think I don't know, this Django environment, I think it's a problem with the package. I would check how, because I've not used this package before, like I said. So I would check why it's not working. It has to do with the package. Okay, someone said they came across this error and had to use Python decoupled instead. I think that's just what I would do, because apparently I think it's this package. I would look at it, I will see if there's a fix for it or if someone has had that issue before. So thank you all for joining. I believe I hope it was a fulfilling class and everyone has learned one thing or another. I don't know if I can take a question or two. So if there's anyone that would like to ask a question, someone says, is it necessary to hide the secret key? Yeah, for the project before pushing to get no, it's for a Python project or for a Django project. Yes, you should not have your secret key in production or on GitHub. I think GitHub will even send you a mail for that. But I'm not really very strict on it based on the task, so I can overlook that. Is there any other question? So there is no question. I don't understand this whole virtual environment and Django. Okay, so a virtual environment, I think I've talked about virtual environment so many times. I would redirect you to our first Django session where I talked about virtual environment and I started the virtual environment. That should be last week class, last week Tuesday. But just to make you understand it, just think of a virtual environment as a container that isolates your Python packages from the rest of your computer. So it helps you isolate your packages so that they don't really mess up your computer environment variables and stuff like that. So your packages are in an isolated container. And think of it's this way. Anytime you want to install or work on a new project, you can use the current version such that outdated versions of a package or a dependency does not affect a new project you're working with. But the container is just for you to isolate your packages and dependencies. That's just it. So yeah, thank you all for joining. Yeah, you can watch the Tuesday office, last week Tuesday class, where I talked about virtual environments. So okay, someone mentioned that they've been trying to run Django. I'd say you should add Django to parts. You add Django to parts if you have successfully run or Django, installed Django. You should add it to part and you'll be able to work with Django. So, okay, so if you are having the same operational error, it's not the same way I fixed mine that you would fix yours. I mean, if you delete the db.sqlite3 and your migrations folder, it will work. That one, I am very sure it would work. If you delete it and run new make migrations command, it will work. But if you don't want to go through the stress of deleting your database, you can look at why you read your error, see why you're having that error like I did, and look at the column or the table that is not supposed to be there. You can either comment it out or uncomment it, depending on your use case or your scenario. Then run your migration. But if that is still not working, then you can delete your db.sqlite3, your migrations folder, your PyCatch, and run new migrations. So have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining. I hope the class was really fun and educative. I see you all next week. Bye.